Hello everyone, welcome to Carbon Crypto AMA with Phoenix Revive. We are here with Juru. He is the lead developer and CEO of the project. He's got 18 years coding experience. He comes from a coding background. His dad was a coder, and then his dad was a coder, all in his family. So welcome, Juru. Can you tell us a bit about yourself and the project?
All right, thanks for the intro, man. Appreciate it. So Phoenix Revive. I see that there's a lot of I guess most of you guys are familiar with it. I see most of you from Phoenix Revive anyway, but let's hope there's a bit more carbon crypto peeps that show up. But anyway, so Phoenix Revive is a utility token. We have the ability to revive or what you call a relaunch, a migration. Each time it's automated. When I say automated, it's done in a seamless way where we just push a function is a trigger, and then it does all the heavy lifting of I guess a migration would happen. So it will take the LP from the current contract. It will convert it to BNB. It will stop the trading, and it will transfer the funds to a new contract and form a new LP on that particular contract as well. And it will, I guess, resync all the holders onto the new contract. So a lot happens in the background, and this is all done in a single transaction. So nothing can be missed, or there's no middleman attack that can happen between such intervals. So it's fully secure, all done in a single transaction for security and a peace of mind. So we don't have to go through a whole process of a fully migration process that usually takes like weeks, if not months. So that's our, I guess, our flagship feature or utility. Um, so I guess a bit about myself. So as Biggie has mentioned, I've got 18 years of coding experience. I started coding when I was in high school, actually. I did a few gigs, did a few freelance, building websites when I was 13 years old. So yeah, maybe not 13, maybe 15. It's been a while. Yeah, so I started building websites when I was 15 years old, and started from there. And I was building websites for like every now and then. That was my part-time job, really. And ever since I just got hooked into building things from scratch, building things from the ground up. Um, yeah, that's my thing. I don't like taking other people's work and then call it your own. So that's where Phoenix Revive is a unique token, you would say. So I've coded that from the ground up. Every single line is optimized. I took care of coding it line by line and everything that we have now. Because migration is a big deal and it will cost a lot of gas. So this was one of the, I guess, a requirement for us to be able to do this all efficiently and all seamlessly. So during my day job, I'm a CTO. I do that part time because of family commitments. So I work three days a week, and the rest will go to family. And if I got some spare time overnight, I'll work on Phoenix Revive. And that's how we got here. Yeah. So yeah, thanks Biggie for hosting us. Really appreciate it. And yeah, that's my intro.
Thank you so much, Shuru. Lovely intro. So for those guys who came late, Shuru just gave us a breakdown of his long coding history experience and his work as a CTO, and every line in the contract of Phoenix Revive has been coded by himself, and it's all optimized to be gas efficient, as this contract has a one-click migration, all in one transaction. All holders get migrated and moved to a new contract. Liquidity is pulled, everything is done, and it's live all in one transaction, which really hasn't been done before on the BSC. Shuri, could you talk about some of the other features that this contract has?
Right, yeah. So there's two main functions on the contract. So the revive function is what we mentioned before, the whole relaunch. The other feature is that it has a floor price. So how that works is initially we whenever we relaunch, there's a floor price set. Say that the relaunch happened at 20k MC market cap. So when we relaunch onto the new token, that floor price will be at 20k of when it's launched. So what that means is that for us to enforce the floor price, we have a high tax to it, not too high. So the what we call the floor price penalty tax is 50%. If you try to sell below the floor price, then you will be taxed at 50%, and it will be split amongst the same ratio as our tokenomics, where our taxes go. So 1% will go to a buy competition, 2% will go to LP, and 2% will go to marketing. So that same ratio will apply to the 50% tax. So I guess if you want to sell safely on the 5% tax, then you just need to wait it out, I guess, for someone else to buy. And then if you really want to, then you could sell. So no one's stopping you from selling. But it I guess if it's in a green candle, that's what we're trying to promote, then I guess as a smart investor, it's not that efficient to sell during that time, but you have every right to sell. So we're not stopping you from that. So that's our second feature of the contract. And I guess we have a upcoming utility as well, which did you want me to talk about that now, or any other questions before we begin that? Because it's going to be a huge topic on that.
The follow-up question with the floor price, is this
Yeah.
floor price set in stone, or does it move along with the market cap?
Right. So I guess our main goal is to keep the what you call the gas price to a minimum, and to optimize that, we have to really simplify how we calculate the floor price. So the LP pair is paired against BNB. So all pricing will have to be against BNB for simple calculations. What you see in PooCoin, what you see on PancakeSwap is in USD on the charts. So they do conversion on that. So it won't be an exact USD value that the floor price will sit on. It will be an estimate. So the simplest calculation we can do to optimize that gas usage is just to simply take the BNB value from the LP, and we call that the floor price. So for example, it's sitting here at 25.6 BNB in LP. If you see that on PooCoin right now, if we were to snapshot that as the floor price, then that will be the value. So the BNB value can go up or can go down, and that will affect the USD value. Also, if we add in additional LP based on our contract, where it takes 2% from the tax, that also adds to the LP value. And so as a byproduct, the floor price will also increase probably by a little. So that's why when we set the 75k floor price, it's been increasing bit by bit each time the new LP is added. So I guess it's kind of good that we have a raising floor price. I'm not sure what's your thought on that.
Okay, excellent. So the floor price raises with more liquidity added into the token, as you've
Exactly.
calculated
Yep.
the BNB value of the LP as the set floor price. Is that right?
That's correct. Yep.
Okay, as it's not set at a specific like market cap. It has these little fluctuations, but people will be able to understand what the floor price is based on sort of their slippage value when they're trying to sell this. Is that right?
That's right. So just to be safe, just don't set your slippage too high. Anything above 6 or 7%, it's gonna be risky, because just have it 6% and you'll be fine. You won't be or just throw an error if you try to sell.
And how has your community reacted to this floor price feature? Is it been very positive? Have people felt it more
So
secure that there's a floor price protecting them, or how's it been?
I mean, it's a feature that we let them know from the start. So by buying into the contract, they agreed to that specific terms that we set. So that's our policy. When they buy in, that's what they accepted. So I guess you can't argue against that, right? But overall, it's been protecting the it's been stabilizing the price quite a bit. It's working. We do see some sells here and then, but that's just our unique way of protecting the price of the token. It is a bear market, so having that safety net, it gives you that confidence where when you buy in to this token, then you can sleep at night knowing that it won't crash to 80% or so. So yeah, it's been quite positive.
Okay, so I just had to tend to my kid who's crying a little bit. I missed that very last part.
So to answer your question, I believe the community has been really supportive of this feature, from judging all the posts on Telegram.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And moving on to the third feature of Phoenix Revive, I believe there is a Revive application, decentralized application that you're working on. Could you tell us about that?
Yeah, sure. So it's I guess BSC itself, there's a lot of projects out there that goes live, and then probably not the fault of the owner or anyone. It's just maybe marketing wasn't there, maybe the hype wasn't there, or maybe the overall market, the crypto market has just been down. But essentially, there's up to a point where a line is drawn and the project is declared dead, or not active. There's no volume. So the holders that we see from those projects up until that point, we see a lot of potential in them, because they hold it till the end. They're diamond handed in a way. So what we try to do is capitalize on those those mindseted investors. I think they're really good investors. They stuck till the end, and that's what that's the same vision that we have of Phoenix Revive as well. So with Phoenix Revive, it's a long-term project. Even if the chart doesn't look good, or even stuff happens, or if the overall crypto market just crash, or whatever the reason, we can just do a whole revive, a relaunch. The chart is reset, and we can start again, and it looks good in front of new investors, without seeing a massive downtrend. So that could be good. We're not hiding anything. It's how our contract works, and that's our feature. So that's how we market it. And also sticking to the revive theme, I guess. So what we're trying to do is we revive those I guess those dead or dusted projects into our own. We assimilate them. So we're the bog in a way. So what happens is we have a DApp, a decentralized app, on our website. What happens is the owner of that particular project will deposit their LP. It needs to be unlocked though. So about unlocking the LP, there's several ways to solve that. Maybe we give them a time period. Maybe they can deposit beforehand, or maybe they can give us other funds instead. So something that we need to work out. But essentially, the requirement is the LP needs to be unlocked, and they will need to deposit that within our DApp, which is linked to a smart contract. That's step one. Step two is they're able to choose if they want to have a percentage of the LP that they put in, I guess. So to start a project, you need an initial LP, right? Whether it comes from a pre-sale, whether it comes from your own wallet, and you decide of, well, what's fair for you, what's fair for the community. So we give them a choice, but we give them a maximum. They can't just claim 100% of the LP. So with that percentage, they can choose between 0% if they believe that it all belongs to the community, then they can do that, all the way to maybe 20%. So that exact figure hasn't been polished yet. So we'll need to think of a fair percentage that the owner can claim on that LP. So they choose the percentage. The remaining LP will go to the locked into our smart contract, and then we, I guess we liquefy that LP into the native BNB token. And what happens then is the holders of that specific token will connect their wallet to our DApp, and they will, I guess, trade in their current token. What we do is we take that token, and then we convert it to our current value of Phoenix Revive, and we use that LP funds to do a buyback, get that token, and then send it to them in one transaction. So in a way, it's a bridge between two tokens, bridging from their project onto ours, and then convert them as a holder. So they are diamond-handed holder because they held till the end. They'll also get a link or some join button to our Telegram, and we will also acquire them on our Telegram group to get all information, etc. So that's the idea. I hope that wasn't too confusing, is it?
Now that sounded quite good. So I'll just paraphrase it to see if we've understood the concept. So it's called a revived app. So we're targeting diamond holders who've held too long on other projects. Unfortunately, due to various reasons, it's been declared dead. So there's an option for them to assimilate into Phoenix Revive. So this comes to the owners of that project's dev or owner to deposit their unlocked LP, and he can select a limited amount of how much he keeps from himself, such as his initial LP, and then he can give the rest of the LP back to the holders. But the way it's going back is in the form of a buyback on the current value of Phoenix Revive, and they get distributed their tokens, and their job is to just submit their token value, so they get allocated the correct amount. Is that in a nutshell what it's about?
Yeah, exactly. So in a way, it's a way out for the owners. They, they can brush their hands off, they can move on, and we will take care of the rest.
I have a question about that, if you don't mind, Shrew.
Yeah, go for it.
It sounds like a cool utility, but I want to ask, what's the incentive for an owner to do that? From my understanding, usually when projects fail, the owners kind of just fuck off, or they take off, and the Telegram's dead, and people are hanging on with their bags that are now worthless. But is there any incentive you're thinking of offering for owners to do this?
It's just
so that they,
yeah.
Thanks.
I think. All right. I think it's just the right thing to do for the owners. Like they're called the owners, so they need to own up, right, to take responsibility of the project. So speaking for myself, I would do that. I'm pretty sure there's others like me out there who feel the same way.
Yes.
So as an owner, you feel responsible and you want to help. It's also a way out for you as well. You've been through stressful times, your project's dead, and you just want a way out. And this is that opportunity to do that. So those are the two main reasons I think an owner would do that.
Awesome. Could there be in the future incentives baked in for an owner if such a thing would be needed? Like bonus tokens or something to join the project, some sort of incentive if you feel that may be required in the future. Not saying that it would be, but sometimes incentives are required. Is that something that you would consider?
Well, we'll see how it goes, because we've got 2 projects lined up already, and one project owner, after I made an announcement, he talked to me straight away, and then he said, we want to do this kind of thing, and it's going to be unlocked in 2 weeks. So that's perfect timing for him as well. So
Great.
we'll see how the first one goes. We'll take his feedback and everything, and we'll ask him like, how did you feel? Well, that kind of thing. And do you think like others will follow suit? And he can tell his other his connections who might also be owners who's had the same situation. So it's also going to be like a word of mouth kind of thing, and that will build a trust. That will build a trust on the DApp, because it is based on trust, right? They're taking their whole LP and putting it into our contract. By having all these testimonials, I think that will give us the trust that we need for it to become into our vision of how I reckon it's going to be big, depending on many factors. So having that security, having that trust, and having that backed by previous owners, I think we will need to get there.
Great, thank you. That was a good answer. Thank you very much.
Oh, good, man. Thanks for the question.
No worries.
No, sure. Is there anything else you want to talk about your project before we open up the questions to the community? Anything you want to touch upon or clarify?
Yeah, there's a couple of confusion on what is the current floor price. I think I've answered that in the first half already. So maybe after, if anyone's still confused, we can still clarify that. But there is a update to the contract that's coming up. We're going to use the USD value now directly to calculate the market cap, and also making the floor price relative to the ATH. We're not going to say how or what the value is, just to avoid people taking advantage of it, or people trying to manipulate it in some way. But it's going to be based on ATH. That's all I can. I guess that's all I can say. But it'll be good because we don't have to do a relaunch each time. Where when we hit like 110k market cap or 150, if the chart is looking good, then there's no reason to reset it. We'll just let it stay there with a bullish chart and with an increased floor price. And it's much easier for a bot to which I'll create a bot in Telegram that will notify or announce that new floor price, so everyone knows exactly what the value is, so there's no more confusion, because it's not like based on BNB value where that could change. So hopefully this will hopefully this will bring more bring more clearness to where everything's at. So yeah, just something I want to get out there. Cool.
That's a great idea.
So yeah,
Anything else?
sorry, just one more thing. So it is currently being tested. After the last incident, I just want to make sure everything is fully tested, no rush or anything. Just test it completely, test it for days, if it needed to be. Make sure everything right before I push it. So you have my word on that.
Awesome, sounds good, mate.
If
Any
you don't mind,
questions
I just
from the
kinda-
community?
I just want to go back for 1 second because I had to jump out and back in here just for a second. But as far as like giving incentives to other project owners, I mean, in a sense, wouldn't you consider it that we're doing them a favor almost? Like we're doing them a service and their community a service after they essentially failed and, making their project what they were set out to be. And then
True.
basically we're kind of like giving them a way out and saving their community from that loss. So technically we're providing a service for them,
True. I thought about that too after the question was answered. I realized that the service alone is in fact the incentive.
Yeah, that's
Alright.
right. So that's why we're charging them a fee as well. It won't be big. Maybe it's we'll just need to see what's fair for everyone. But I'm thinking maybe like 0.1 BNB plus 2 or 3%, or whichever it might be. So we're just trialing with the first couple of projects, and as we get big, then it'll be more established.
Yeah, very good questions, guys. So it comes down to the project owner, it seems, how much they care for their community, how much they care for their holders. I'm sure we've heard of the term farming devs. Essentially, this dev is launching projects like he's a farmer, growing them just to reap the rewards. So this is really not targeted to these farmer devs, rather these like medium-sized to larger projects where the devs actually try to achieve something, and there's just didn't work out for them. And these are the type of developers who care and who, like Shrew said, that they take responsibility and they want to do something good for the holders. So this migration application that could just be the solution that they need. And perhaps there could be a middle ground where a bit of incentive is required. So if it's a large LP amount, perhaps Shrew could offer them some sort of token or free of charge incentive if they come on board, if it's a large value that they hold. What do you think about that, Shrew? If they've got a large LP amount, would that be something you'd consider? Maybe like feeless migration if they're over a certain threshold?
Oh yeah, so that will be a huge bonus for us as well, because we're gonna acquire massive amounts of holders, so we can work things out. Absolutely. Also, the incentive is, I guess, they can take a portion of the LP without, feeling bad or taking it to their conscience. So whatever they put in their initial LP, we can detect that, and everything is clear in a way.
I will have a question if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it, man.
How are you, bro?
Yeah, I'm good. And yourself?
I'm good too, thanks. My question is about how you decide to do this kind of project. I mean, the idea, how this idea came to your mind at the first place.
So the idea is like, I guess I've been in crypto for the past 1.5 years now, and through those period, I've been through countless projects. They come and go. I've seen countless migrations and how they all, they take time, and sometimes it doesn't happen. Sometimes it happens, but it's not quite right, or there's always one problem or the other. So that's one. Two is where we're in the crypto bear market. Everyone knows that. It's been going on for a while, and projects will need some sort of way to engage the community again, to hype the project again, so they will do a relaunch. So relaunches happen more frequent because of the crypto market, I would say. And so there's a more incentive to do a relaunch. And I guess from those point of view, I see that there's a market where we want to be able to do a relaunch or a migration seamlessly. So if I've seen how it's done, I've seen what could, I've seen what can go wrong, and to be able to do all this within a single transaction seamlessly, I think it will be a game changer. So that's why I came up with this concept.
How much time did you spend to develop this concept? I mean,
so from ideation to go live, it was around 2 months. So just on and off, doing a lot of experiments in the background, because it's something new, something built from the ground. So trying to get that transaction to not error out, it took a whole month, I would say, just to get it, running and successful on the blockchain. That was like a whole journey of its own. So yeah, a lot of work has been put into writing this contract. So yeah, I'm proud of what I've created. I'm proud of the community that's been involved in, and it's all been fantastic. Like the engagement in the group, everyone's bullish on the idea. That's just incredible. Yeah.
Congratulations, bro. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, Bra, I have a question as well on that. So, are you working alone on this project, or you have other devs team that are assisting you as well?
No, I'm not alone. So I guess in terms of writing smart contracts, then yes, I'm writing that. But we also have co-owner like Biggie. We have the community as a whole to help me out, and I've got a couple of volunteers here and there. They volunteer their time to help me with the marketing side of things, getting in contact with influencers, rating the the tweets, and just giving a lot of good advice on the feedback is being really good, and just building on top of that as well. So I don't feel alone. There is a whole team behind me. I would say the whole community is the team in a way. So I hope that answered your question.
Thank you.
I have a suggestion if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it, man.
I was thinking about this DApp you're talking about, the Revive DApp, and I'm wondering if you've thought about having a group that's dedicated to scouts, people who go out, look for those failed projects, and then you pay them a small cut for doing so, if required. Of course, the better way is that projects will be approaching you, which is always nice, and that actually might be the case. And the project will be able to absorb a lot of other failed projects. But perhaps you may want to consider having like a team of scouts or having some sort of competition or compensation schedule for people who can go out and actually get those projects, which also puts Phoenix on the map as well, because everyone will hear about it. So that's just a suggestion. Don't know if you thought about it, or don't even know if it's a good one, but I figured I'd throw it out there.
I was thinking of some kind of referral, but that's even better. Yeah, that's a really good suggestion. So yeah, I think we will take your suggestion, and yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, cool.
Really good one, man. Thanks for that.
Yeah, no worries. I got that idea from another from an AMA group where there's basically a subgroup where they're all kind of working to get AMAs, and so everyone has like the price and the schedule and everything on. They kind of go out and try and get AMAs, and then they share the cost, which is kind of cool. So they sort of have their own team of salespeople, I guess you'd call it, right? So I got that idea from another group that was doing that, and so it wasn't technically my own, but I figured I'd throw it out here. So thanks for hearing me out.
Yeah, awesome, man. And also on top of that cut they're gonna get, it's gonna benefit them anyway, because it's gonna pump it back to the chart. And so if they have invested, then that's gonna have huge gains for them as well.
Well, not only that, is Phoenix also goes out there as sort of a revival program. Like people will know that's just one of the utilities. I'm sure you're going to have more utilities in the future, but that's just one utility. And it sounds like you're going down the path of fixing problems in the BSC space. So this one DApp will fix a particular problem. It's already got my mind working on other, and I'm sure all of us on this call can list what we think is the biggest problem in the space, right? So it's very possible that Phoenix will start to solve other problems too. And so therefore having that workforce, or those team of scouts could definitely help there with that as well. But thanks for hearing me out, man.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, man.
No worries.
Yeah, so I guess our goal now is to revive BSC back to its former glory from a couple of years back, where it was at its peak. So yeah, I think we can really fix BSC one step at a time.
I hope that too, brother. I hope that too.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, BSC is kind of turned into a trash heap, but I think we can revive it. I think you're right.
I've got a question, Shrew. With the Ethereum chain being a bit hyped now, down the track, is there any possibility that we could see Phoenix Revive on BSC and Ethereum?
Yeah. So there's a couple of ways to go about it. One biggest I guess problem that we're gonna have is that if we put on Ethereum, and would people sell on BSC to buy on Ethereum? So that's what we want to stop. Not stop, but that's what we want to disincentivize them to do. So I guess a couple of ways we can go about it where it doesn't, entice them to do that. It could be that we have a custom bridge, so tying the two price value together and let people arbitrage between the two different chains. So even if they sell on BSC, they're gonna they're going to have to buy it on the Ethereum, so it's going to be the same value. So there's no point selling one for the other unless they're going to do arbitrage and trying to gain some profits from that, and that will just boost the volume, I guess, for both of these chains as well. So I really think a custom bridge will be able to help us with this, with having it, I guess, on multiple chains.
Okay, thanks for that. Any further questions from the community? Anya, do you have any questions? Usually you're very vocal. You seem a bit quiet today.
Just doing work in the background, brother. But the project sounds interesting. I mean, I don't see any potential issues that can arise from it. I think that the concept is sound. For me, now it's just a wait and see issue that we're going to have to deal with it, because at the end of the day, what people want to see is results. So as long as you're very results driven with your approach and you conduct yourself properly, I don't see why it couldn't be successful.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree with that. Everything we do, in terms of priority, will need to be measured by the value it brings and the result that it will produce. And for a way for us to do that, we will need to measure the success of each of these actions that we take. So that's why we're being very careful and selective with our marketing strategy to use the best of the taxes that's given to us from our precious investors, that we will spend it wisely, rather than throwing a couple of beans here and there and hope for the best. Yeah, we really want to be result driven, based on, I guess, the most efficient way to do that.
Yeah.
All right.
So I have one more last question. Do you have any smart contract audits that you already performed just to build trust as well, and then also to make sure that the security is top notch?
So what was the first one? The first question is, have I written smart contracts before? Is that right?
No. Has there been any audits done on the?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's been a couple of limitations on the BSC scan where it's really hard to verify your contract, making the source be visible. So verifying because the way that our contract works now is deployed on the blockchain directly. So think of a smart contract deploying a smart contract, like a smart contractception kind of thing, right? And BSC scan doesn't like that, and so it was really hard to verify that. So what we're gonna do is decouple our tracker contract and our token contract so that they're separate, and we should be able to verify it very cleanly now. And so once that's done, that is a requirement for most audit firms, where you need your contract to be verified in BSC scan. So that's what we're gonna do, and then we're gonna our aim is to get that audited as well, from a reputable I guess provider, of course, and then that's the security assurance that I guess the token will get. And also it's being vouched by many owners, many groups as well. So I think that's, in a way, you've got that trust from the community and testimonials from other places as well. On top of that, I guess we put in a lot of limits in the contract as well. So I can't just set the the overall tax to be over 25%. And I can't do certain things. I limit myself to do certain things as well, just so that it's it avoids it's more transparent, I guess. It doesn't allow me to do bad things that will hurt the token or the project. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you.
Cool.
Guys, thanks
Any
for-
others? Okay.
I was going to say thanks for tuning in, guys. I think we've covered pretty much all bases of it. Like to give thanks Sharu for spending his time for expanding his project. And I've typed up a summary, and I've recorded this AMA so that people can listen and read it afterwards. And if you have any further questions, please just message Sharu or myself, or come join the Telegram. So as Sharu said, I am a co-owner of this project as well. Actually got promoted to it. Wasn't intending to, but which is nice of Sharu. Yeah, it was a bit forced on me. So, but no, I'm happy with it. So if you guys have any further questions, just reach out to us. We're happy to help. I really see a lot of potential in this. And with Sharu's coding experience, sky is the limit. And I just love the way he works. He's very transparent and very honest with his dealings. So I think it's very reliable, safe place to invest. It's got a floor price to protect your holdings as well. Heaps of people are saying they're sleeping on this token. They're having the first peaceful sleep since 3 years, since they started trading crypto. This is the first peaceful sleep they've had by investing in Phoenix Revive. So yeah, that's the summary, guys. Thanks for attending. Sharu, any last words before we close it off?
Yeah, so thank you all for coming. Thank you, Biggie, for hosting this. I mean, you got your kid who's just had vaccinated, so thank you for making that time. So yeah, I guess I want to say is we're really onto something really big, and I reckon this can go beyond millions of market cap. It's not a promise. It's an actual fact. It will be. So I'm very confident on that. So based on what we provide, and based on our utility, and based on market research, in the upcoming weeks, besides from the announcement that we put out recently, some updates are gonna go on the website as well, just to reflect what we have in the FAQ and in our filters. So a lot of things, and then I'll start working on the SEO, which is search engine optimization, on the website as well. So that's also part of marketing. So yeah, that's my final words.
Awesome. All right, guys, gonna stop the recording here. Thanks for attending, everyone.
All right, thanks guys. Have a good one. Cheers. See you all.